give gestures to people on the road. Let your mind wander, whatever those gestures are. So all this happens to you. Your AC's broken, no gas, boss yells at you, you're late, boyfriend, girlfriend broke up with you through a text message, and you finally get to C3. Or, let's say you don't have a job. Let's say you stayed up all night studying for a test, and all night. I once pulled an all-nighter with my brother. We went to UT Arlington our first semester, and our final exam, we stayed up all night, playing pool and studying the entire night, as in we didn't sleep at all, which is not a good idea for anybody who's in school. You'll forget everything. And then let's say you do that, and then you go and you sit down for your test. You're late for your test because you woke up late. And so you're already 20 minutes late for your test, and you sit down and you look at the test, and there's like half the questions on there you didn't even know you were supposed to study. That's happened to a lot of us in here. I know it has. I know I'm not the only one. And then your phone vibrates, and your boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with you in a text message. Again. And then on your way home, you get a flat tire. By the way, you still don't have any AC. You're finally at C3. Let's say that happened to somebody here today. Let's say one of the things, anything bad happened. And you stepped in here today, and you're just like, God, today, it sucked. This happened, this happened, this happened, and this happened. And by the way, this happened. And I don't want to go to the left. I don't want to go to the right. I don't want to lift my hands. I just want to sit here. All this stuff that happened, I just want to sit here. What you're telling God is, because this is what you gave me, this is how little I'm going to worship you. I've done it too. Okay, I've done it too. I'm not saying that your worship today was terrible. No, C3 worship, from the worship team to the congregation to the leaders, everywhere, it's just been getting better and better every single week. I've felt it. And it's not me, it's not the band, it's not the vocals. God is just here. And his spirit is so heavy in this place. But when we have a bad day, we come to any church service. It doesn't have to be C3. And you're just like, I don't feel like it. So much happened today, God. I don't feel like it. You're telling him, because of what you've done or what you haven't done for me, God, I don't feel like worshiping you. You're basing it on a condition or conditions. Your worship is circumstantial. Let's say you woke up, we have morning people. Is there anybody a morning person here? You hear how quiet it was? They just raise your hand. That's because it's nighttime. So when the morning people wake up, they have this big smile on their face, and they're all happy. It's like 4 in the morning, they just jump out of bed and go get their Starbucks. They go to class, they get to work early, their teacher or the boss, they say, oh, you're doing a great job. Pass them on the back. I am so proud of you. Oh, by the way, here's a raise, here's a promotion. Or if you're in school, here are the answers to the test. Or here's a study sheet. Teachers have done both. Here are the answers. Those are good teachers. I'll actually talk about that in a second. Your boyfriend or your girlfriend didn't break up with you through a text message. They didn't break up with you at all. You have 4 new tires, a full tank of gas, ice cold AC in your brand new 2013 car. You finally made it to C3. Oh God, this is just awesome. I have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I got a raise. Look at all this money. Oh, it's just floating down from the heavens. Oh, it's amazing. You've done all this stuff for me. I'm just going to worship you. That's no better, C3, than worshiping God less because of the things he hasn't done. If you worship God more based on circumstances, then you're telling God, because you've given me all these things, I'm really going to go after it tonight. It's no different. Your intentions are there. You have the best of intentions. You want to worship. But the way that you're going about doing it is you're telling God that I love you and I worship you this much because you've done this for me. God wants us to walk into a sanctuary or your prayer closet or your living room, anywhere, and just worship regardless, based on what happened in your day. You see, this is something that I haven't mastered yet. I'm by no means perfect at this at all. And I'm going to mess up again. We all will. Because once again, we have flesh. And so, what we have to do is figure out, okay, how can I worship God when everything is just, when it's the worst day, or the worst week, or the worst year? I know which year was my worst year. How do we worship God in those times? I can't answer that for you, for everybody here. We ask God for things all the time, and God, I need this, I need a job, and my grandma needs healing, and I need money, and I need this. God showed me what to do. This is what I believe. And He's not going to answer everything on purpose. He'll show you a few things. But referring back to the test, let's say from the time you were in kindergarten, your kindergarten teacher said, here are the test questions, and here are the answers. Go home, study them. When you come back next Friday, we'll take the test, bring the answers, just copy them down. If every single one of our teachers did that from the time we were in kindergarten to the time we graduated high school or college or whatever, we would be stupid. We would be very, very dumb because we didn't learn anything. The tests that I did cheat on, hypothetically, I didn't learn anything. You know what really stinks is when you cheat on this test and this test and this test, and then you have that final exam, and it's, you're in rows with everybody, and there's a Scantron, and the teachers are walking up and down the aisle. There's no way to cheat. And teachers find out very soon, like very easily, who cheated in that class when they see 100, 100, 100, 100, 30. If our teachers gave us the answers to everything, we wouldn't know anything. If God answered every question that you had, how much would you actually learn? How much would you learn versus you going out and doing it yourself? Now, there's some things that we can't do ourselves. I understand that. But we ask God for all these things over and over and over again, and God sometimes is just sitting back saying, when are you going to stop talking? What I want you to do is to figure out how to solve this problem on your own. That's where testimonies come from. That's where my testimony came from. Now, I know there's some people in here who are saying, I have to learn everything by experience. I need to make my own mistakes. There's a time in my life where I said that, and I had so much fun making my own mistakes. It was a blast. I would go to this party, and I would be with this people, and we would do these sorts of things. I'm not going to say what any of that was. And it was fun. Until that one thing happened. And it just flipped my world upside down. And who did I blame? I blamed God. God, why did you let this happen to me? I remember the day, my dad knows this one. He remembers the day, the time, the year, the month. We know exactly when this was that I had his truck and I didn't listen to him. And I went out to that party, and I drank a lot. That's all I remember. And sometime on the way home, I fell asleep. And it was a straight road. And I remember the last marker that I saw versus the next marker that I saw. And it was at least a mile in between. So I was sleeping for a mile. And I was going about 70, Thank God it was a straight road. The next thing I know, I'll come up to this intersection. I used to live out in Salinas. This is way out in the country. And I go flying through this intersection down into this field. And the truck just, I don't know how it didn't flip. I don't know how that happened. Going 70 miles per hour, you would think a truck would flip into a ditch. And the truck comes to a halt. I come falling out of the truck. I drop down on my knees. And I blamed God. Why are you doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? God, how am I supposed to recover from this? My dad's truck is totaled. How am I supposed to come back from this? This is what he told me. There were so many times, Alex, that I tried to get your attention. You just wouldn't listen. We ask God for something and he gives us an answer and we're like, I don't like that answer. I'm gonna do something different. That was my point in life where I had to learn